Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey. And today we're giving you our players we love list for 2021. We each got 5 guys that we love for this year. Some of these names, if you've been listening to the show in these last few months, not everyone's going to surprise you, I would say. So we'll go over some of those. Before we do that, though, I just wanted to talk about our last episode we did, the Do Not Draft episode. And I posted a graphic on Instagram, Jeff, of this. And we had put some names on there that, maybe we thought might be a little controversial in a way, like Saquon, a little worried about that. Alvin Kamara, a little worried about that. Maybe Mike Evans, might get some hate. No. Terry McLaurin and Myles Gaskin have got us. So people hate us, basically, at this point. I mean, I do hate you for the McLaurin pick, too. So I get these people. Like, I get it. But
I do not get it.
They,
I did not know Terry McLaurin was America's sweetheart. I did not know that
it was just kind of crazy. There was one, I have like a whole list here. Jeff shouldn't be a fantasy analyst. These are horrible. Jeff, dumb ASV. Are these guys smoking crack? Jeff sounds like an effing idiot and should consider doing something other than fantasy football analysis.
I mean, pretty tame stuff, but
right. And that's just a sampling. If you want to see more, go to Instagram.com/fantasyfootballprophet. You will see, a lot more. You got the McLaurin hate. I got the Myles Gaskin hate.
That was the one that surprised me more than anything.
I'm telling you, Myles Gaskin is not good. And he's average.
That's the weirdest part. Saquon or Kamara, especially on there, when there's little context, I expected a few people to flip out over that. I did not think anyone would take Myles Gaskin love.
Because when I said Myles Gaskin, you kind of laugh who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
No, people care.
Yeah, they do a lot.
So, hey.
And then Terry McLaurin is
I'm not with you.
No, I know. I realize, you're distancing yourself from me right now.
I might have made it. I'm
so surprised
maybe
by
a couple
that
of those
one.
were my burner accounts.
Because, I get why he is, I guess, ranked that high because everyone thinks that highly of him now. But I'm very surprised. To their defense or whatever, there's little to talk about. It's kind of like, hey, these are the people that I wouldn't draft. So when you put those names on there, I'm sure it's shocking. And I do wonder if people would be like, oh, he's ranked the 9th overall wide receiver. I still don't think so from what they were saying. People love Terry McLaurin. So, and he also caught a few balls today. So we'll see if the love grows, but that's only going to make my case stronger. So that is crazy.
One final McLaurin comment came in tonight from Waltz JA6, and he said, McLaurin looked great tonight. Tell Jeff to suck a lemon.
Okay. I was like, what do you have 2 catches?
Hey, it's all good. I'll take it.
Oh, no, 100%. I stand by it. It's funny to see what people react to.
The funny thing is I didn't even put James Robinson on that list. It really should have been just the James Robinson do not draft list because he's the guy. I didn't even have to put his name on there.
It's what it's named after.
I actually got some James Robinson hate on my rankings list because I didn't put him in my top 26.
Really?
I'm not putting him in my top 36.
No.
He's lucky to make my top 46.
No, it's just being mean.
It's all good. All right. But now, away from the hate, these are players we love. We have 5 each.
I'm going to get hate over these ones, too.
Let's do it. 5-1. Let's go. What's your number 5?
Number 5, we've talked about him before. He is going to be a rookie. He's going to be playing for Jacksonville. He is Travis Etienne. I really, really like this guy. I think people are underappreciating right now, and I get it. He's a rookie coming into a new system, new coach, all of that. But they took him in the first round, just to reiterate. He has played with their now, all their marbles in one basket of Trevor Lawrence. So I really like him. And once again, Robinson is the only guy there. Last year, he did good. He did well. So people are going to say, Etienne, maybe he splits time with him. I think Etienne, by the end of the year especially, is going to be the primary back. You look at the numbers from college, and they are spectacular. Even freshman year, he only had 107 attempts, but he averaged 7.2 yards per carry with 13 touchdowns. 2018, his sophomore season, he went off 1,658 yards, 8.1 yards on average, 24 touchdowns. Crazy. Next year follows it up with another amazing outing. 1,614 yards, 7.8 per clip, 19 touchdowns. And last year with, only 12 games compared to like 15, he had 914 yards, 5.4 yards per clip, which is a little bit down, in 14 touchdowns, but he was asked to do a few other things. Obviously, they were good all 4 years he was there. Trevor Lawrence as well. So I think this guy's the real deal. I think he's going to do very, very well there for Urban Meyer. So he's my number 5.
He's my number 5 as well.
Oh, awesome. So, actually, we probably will.
Yeah, we're going to have some overlap.
Yeah, we're going to butt up against
it's just,
each other.
hey, you know what? This is the way it works this year. There's some guys we're real like.
Do you have anything to add?
So I actually was reading this article the other day about Etienne and about James Robinson, and just it actually, I was like, okay, this actually makes sense how they could use these guys. Okay, James Robinson's going to be used. I'm not saying he's not going to. He's obviously going to be used, right? It's going to happen.
Yes. And
they were saying maybe they're going to use him more as like Alvin Kamara, Latavius Murray type, where Etienne's the Kamara and James Robinson's Latavius Murray, which I get. That I could see that. I can see a scenario where that kind of workload happens.
Okay, yes, but that's like the poor man's version of both. First of all, I'm not saying Etienne is him, and I'm also not saying that I think Latavius Murray is a much better back.
I think Kamara's a lot better than Etienne right now, but I think Murray's better than Robinson.
Yeah, 100%.
So, but it's in a similar way where Murray's always playing. Murray plays. I think Robinson will play. He's going to play, but Etienne is the guy. He's the talented one there for sure.
And look where you draft those two players as well.
Yeah. I'm bored with Etienne. I mean, you don't go draft a running back in the first round not to play him. It just doesn't. I mean, I won't say it never happens. We did see the Seahawks draft Rashad Penny a couple years ago, and he just couldn't beat out Chris Carson.
Didn't he get hurt his rookie year too?
Yeah, and it just never. And then before his injury, I feel like he was finally starting to show something. So
right.
But either way, it doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen a lot. Typically, if it's a first-round running back, they're there for a reason. Like, you don't draft first-round running backs anymore that often. It doesn't happen.
No.
So when you do, you're going to play him, I would think. So Etienne, for sure, number 5 for me as well. So, all right. Number 4. Let's see how many of these we got in common.
Number 4, I'm going with a wide receiver, T. Higgins. And if you've listened to me, I have talked about him quite a bit. But the thing I love about him so much is he's being overlooked. Everyone is kind of talking about Burrow, what he's going to look like coming off of that injury. He looked very promising, which I very much need, obviously, with T. Higgins, all the wide receivers there. And then they draft Chase. And tell you the truth, he did take a year off. We don't really know what he's going to look like. I'm assuming he's going to be good. If he's not, this pick of T. Higgins is even more in my love category. But he did wonderful in his rookie season. And he only had Burrow for, the first how many games. So he was playing with a backup that I can't even think of at the moment. He still was able to pull in 67 receptions for 908 yards and 6 touchdowns as a rookie. He was learning. He's 6'4", 216 pounds. He should be used in the red zone. He showed everything I needed to see in his rookie year. He was a very highly, kind of acclaimed wide receiver coming out of Clemson back in the day, only 2 years ago. But there were word that maybe it doesn't translate to the NFL game. It absolutely does. And he outshined Tyler Boyd in my, my estimation. Yeah. So I really, really like him. And I think that he's going to get over 100 targets. I think with Burrow there the whole year, hopefully, his percentage of catches will actually go up. And I think his TDs go up as well we'll even just say 8. I don't think that's crazy at all. So I really, really like him, and especially where you can get him right now, which is wide receiver 24.
Not bad. Jamar Chase doesn't scare you off?
No, it doesn't. Actually, I think it kind of helps.
Yeah, I don't think
either he's good and he takes pressure off of him, or he's bad and then T. Higgins is the number 1. So
yeah, I don't think I'm not worried about that either. I like Higgins.
Yeah, and to be fair too, he has a year under his belt with Burrow, at least a certain amount of games.
Yep.
And Chase, obviously, he's played with him too, but that was a few years ago now. So.
All right. No, I like Higgins. I've actually got him in a few drafts as I've been going along. He just seems to be there as a good second or third receiver, depending on sometimes you can get him as a third. If you get him a third, you're feeling really good.
Yeah. And let me say this too, to preface it a little more. I didn't choose anyone that was like a top 3 guy. I could have. Yeah. Who doesn't love Mahomes? Who doesn't love, Right. So anyway, all these guys. Etienne was 25th ranked running back. Mm-hmm. T. Higgins is 24th. Anyway, who is your 4th?
So my 4th, it's a similar type scenario. Second year receiver, played with a backup quarterback for most of last year and played really well. So I'm going with CeeDee Lamb at number 4 here. I mean, Dak only played a few games. It was CeeDee Lamb playing with Andy Dalton most of the year. and he caught 74 balls for 935 yards and 5 touchdowns playing with Andy Dalton. The whole problem is Dak is hurt again. He's getting an MRI. That's my part where I'm like, ooh, Dak better be there. That's the concern. If Dak's there, I feel great. I feel great about this. I think CeeDee Lamb's going to make a big leap. Without Dak, I don't.
Well, he could probably still put up very similar numbers.
He still will. He still will be fine. I just want Dak to be there.
Yeah, and he's also creeping up the rankings as well. So if you get him, you do need him to perform.
He's gone up. He's probably like 13th, 14th now. He has gone up. So you have to get him. It's a wide receiver too, but I really, really think he's going to jump up. Except if Dak were to be hurt, this is my one caveat here. They have a worse quarterback than Andy Dalton now as a backup. I'm pretty sure it's like they have Garrett Gilbert. They have Ben DiNucci who played a little bit too.
Yeah, I'm guessing they probably go off and get someone again.
I would hope so.
You know what's funny about that too is I didn't put Dak on the people I wouldn't draft because he was like the 6th quarterback, and I could see a world where I would do it. Yep. But he was very close because he scares the crap out of me, and I'm kind of surprised coming off an injury. Everyone is just giving the pass like he's going to be back. He's going to do the same thing. He's not, he's going to be the same player he was before he got hurt. And even scarier, that was with his ankle, right? And that got just dislocated and broken.
Mm-hmm.
Now his arm. And it's not even like I don't know what it is, but it's like, I don't know. It's a different one. It's not even like an elbow thing or something on the arm. It feels like it's a whole muscle category.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's a muscle strain. So yeah, it's something.
But who knows? I mean, I think, I don't know. They're waiting to do the MRI. I feel like if it was bad, they would be doing it immediately. So I have a feeling maybe it sets him back a couple of games, but I think he'll play.
I think so too. So if he does, I really, really like CeeDee Lamb this year.
CeeDee Lamb, he's got an incredible amount of talent. So I like that pick.
All right. Number 3.
The only tight end that will show up for me, he is number 7 currently. That is Dallas Goedert. I really, really like this guy. I think he has all the talent in the world. I think he surpassed Ertz finally on the depth chart. That was really hindering him, holding him back. I think Hurts is good enough to make this happen, and I think Goddard is going to finally get to show the incredible range he has as a pass catcher for that Eagles offense, and they will need him because they have a bunch of young guys, young wide receivers around him. So I really like Dallas Goedert, and I like the fact that he's at number 7 because tight end is extremely thin, and he's a guy you can get, and you will enjoy him.
The weird thing is Zach Ertz doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
No, I thought he was going to go somewhere, but
it's strange. It's strange. Yeah. But even with saying that, obviously you can see how this has been going. Goddard's been on his way up. Ertz has kind of been on his way down. You started to see it a couple of years ago, to be honest. I just remember this. I feel like it was Thanksgiving, one of the Thanksgiving games. Maybe it was around there. And I had Ertz. So I remember this very clearly watching this game. And I'm like, every freaking pass is going to Dallas Goedert. Like, what is going on? And you could just start to see it starting to go that way, right? And I think it's going to continue. I like Goddard a lot. And it's with tight end, you're not like Goddard too. You're not have to spend any draft capital on him. It's a later pick, and there's no worry there. So
yeah,
the Ertz thing's weird. I really thought Ertz wasn't going to be there. I feel like Ertz thought he wasn't going to be there.
But I just don't think there was a big trade market for him. I thought, I bet he kind of predicted incorrectly. But even with him there, it does not change my outlook at all for Dallas Goedert.
All right, let's go to my number 3. Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin, player I love.
And a player I hate. Actually, I don't hate him. I just wouldn't draft him.
That's harsh.
Yeah, so I don't hate him at all. He's a very talented guy.
He had a great year last year. 87 catches, 1,100 yards, 4 touchdowns. I always look at these numbers, and this is like with standard scoring. You look at the difference between the year to year, and you're like, well, of course he has such a better year. From 2019 to 2020, he was 58, 919, and 7 the first year. 87, 1,104. He finished like the exact same spot because of those touchdowns, and because it's not PPR. Because I'm not going to get into that today. That's for another discussion. But 87 for 1,100 yards, 4 touchdowns. Those touchdowns are going to go up. Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be the best quarterback he's had, and I'm not saying Ryan Fitzpatrick's amazing. He can make some fantasy receivers relevant, and I think you're going to see Terry McLaurin become a top 10. He would have been top 10 last year if the touchdowns were there. He would have been. The touchdowns just weren't there. He's playing with nobody.
We'll see.
He's going to be up there. He finished 24th both of his first 2 seasons. Back in wide receiver 2, but you're going to see him as a wide receiver 1, top 10 this year for sure. Terry McLaurin.
I won't say for sure, but
Sure.
he does have the talent. I'll give him that.
Sure. All right. Number 2.
Number 2 is going to be my main man, DeAndre Swift. I've talked about him a million times, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the guy is incredibly talented. They used a high draft pick on him. That offensive line has got beefed up. They used their, a top 10 pick on on an offensive lineman. This is obviously the Detroit Lions. They shipped Stafford out. They will have to be buoyed by the run, and he is the best running back they have on the field on their depth chart. And not only can the guy run, as he had 4.6 yards per clip last year and 8 touchdowns, 521 yards only off of 114 rushes, but the guy can also catch the ball. He had 46 receptions last year for 357 yards and 2 touchdowns. Adrian Peterson is no longer there. They finally pulled their head out of their butt. They're going to use him. I don't know. You just look at this guy and I'm like, I for sure know he's going to do well as long as he stays healthy. And right now he's ranked as the 18th running back overall, which I think is unbelievably good value.
I think so too. He's my number 2.
Well, we're going to have the first 1 and 2, aren't we? Yeah.
So some of the comments. So I did post this list early on Instagram the other day. So if you are following us on Instagram, you would have seen it. So Swift, some of the comments here from It's Your Boy Gino. I think you guys are a little too in love with Swift. Good talent, but it is Detroit after all. Ooh, come on, man.
He does have a point. It is Detroit.
Okay.
But I'll be honest, I've never really hyped up a Detroit player because I'm always down on him.
Rock Chalk Sports says everybody but Swift. Don't trust running backs on bad teams with bad offensive lines.
They don't have a bad offensive line.
They don't. And I don't even
I'll give them this. It's not proven yet.
No, but I don't even buy the bad teams thing always. It doesn't always play out that way. Okay. Everyone is so in love with James Robinson, who was a top 10 running back last year on the worst team in the NFL. I mean,
that's a great point.
He was on the worst team. It's not about that. It's just not the case.
I mean, Jacobs has been very, very solid for the Raiders. They haven't been very good.
Exactly. It's just that's not always how it plays out. Just because you're on a bad team doesn't necessarily mean you're automatically going to be bad.
Yeah, and also look at Joe
Mixon was a top 10 back.
Yeah, he was on a bad team for many years.
Team when he did that. You can go through the list. I bet you could find a bunch of guys like that who are just.
I mean, look at Saquon. You think New York was anything special when he went?
It happens. It happens. It helps to be on a better team, yes, obviously, but it's not just the deciding factor where you're just done. It's not. It's just not at all. And Swift can catch the ball. There's that difference. With Anthony Lynn as his offensive coordinator, you can hopefully they'll bring some of that how they use Eckler in the passing game. Get some, and Swift already was used in the passing game last year on a team that just was terribly coached.
Yeah.
So. I think this team's a better coach. I think Anthony Lynn's a good offensive coordinator. He's going to find a way to get Swift the ball. Don't worry about Jamal Williams either.
No, it's great that he's on the team.
Jamal Williams will play. No one's really other than at this point who's
James Robinson last year.
Yeah, James Robinson last year and Derrick Henry. Right?
Yeah, Derrick Henry.
I mean, who else is? Because even Dalvin Cook gets taken out for Madison at times. Not a lot, but at times. McCaffrey's about one of the...
Dalvin Cook. I mean, first of all, those guys have a stranglehold on the position, and they will get, 70% of the carries.
That's the reason they're our top 3.
Yeah.
Everyone else was, everyone else in this top... Aaron Jones is going to be... is not going to play all the time. A.J. Dillon's going to play. Because Jamal Williams did play with him. Everybody's going to have somebody else playing. Everybody. Don't worry about Jamal Williams that way. It's just the way the NFL is these days. It is. Unless basically, Derrick Henry,
but he doesn't catch the ball either.
No. And Saquon if he's healthy.
Yeah.
He has to be healthy for that. But we'll see. But all right, Swift, number 2.
So number 1, do you want to go ahead and take the lead on this
number
one?
Number 1.
I assume we have the same one.
Yes, definitely we do. J.K. Dobbins, number 1. I just love this. I love this player. I love the situation, everything about it. I love the value you get him for because he's been going. I'm going to see this up-to-date rank. I believe
it's 15th, isn't it?
Okay. That's great. I'm good with that. I don't understand. I mean, that's what I was just saying. Everybody's going to be, taken out at times for somebody else. Like Gus Edwards is a thing. Sure he is. Yes. But he's been a thing for a couple of years. Mark Ingram, 2019 Mark Ingram with 200 carries. That's all he had, 200 carries, nothing crazy. 200 carries, was a top 10 back. with Lamar Jackson, with Gus Edwards. What is the difference? What is the difference with J.K. Dobbins? Are the people that don't want J.K. Dobbins thinking that Gus Edwards is taking the Mark Ingram role? No way. He's not doing that. Look at what Dobbins did last year. He was what? A top 10 back in the second half of last season.
He was 17th overall.
17th overall, and in the second half of last year, he was already a top 10 back. Already. So us ranking him like 11th, 12th, which is much higher than other people do, nothing's crazy about that at all. You're getting a guy who already proved that he could be a running back one without all the workload. And yeah, 15th right now in the current like expert consensus ranks, if you pull him up. I don't see any way this doesn't work. He was great last year when he played. Lamar, I think, only helps him. Lamar Jackson runs the ball, right? Quite a bit. Right?
You think?
Right? And the worry is, he's going to take away all these carries. He's going to take away opportunities in the red zone. Does Lamar Jackson take away red zone opportunities on the ground? I don't really feel like that's where he gets everything done.
Well, I don't think so, since Dobbins had 9 rushing touchdowns last year, and he was the number 2 back, if you even want to call him that.
It's not like a Josh Allen, Cam Newton situation where you get down there and that's your main guy. That is not what Lamar Jackson is going to do. That it's going to be Dobbins, or if Edwards is in there, Edwards will get some, but Dobbins, I think, is going to be the main red zone threat.
Without a doubt.
The goal line threat. It's going to be Dobbins. Lamar's going to get some. Of course he's going to get some. He's one. It's him or Vic for the best running quarterback I've ever seen, right? It's one of the two. And but I'm not worried about that.
You could honestly put, I don't know why I'm arguing this, but that's not the topic, whatever. But I was going to say RG3 for 1 year was pretty phenomenal.
True. But Dobbins, Cam Newton. You're getting Dobbins, I think, at a really good price. And I got him in a lot of drafts already. A lot of drafts.
And it's kind of, it's one of those things where we keep saying it, but if they don't get injured, like I can't see a world where Dobbins and Swift don't pay off. And Dobbins especially. And even more so, just to even take it to another level. The numbers he put up with Lamar last year, it was not like he's playing different snaps than Gus Edwards or Ingram was. And he had 6 yards per carry, which is very phenomenal in the NFL. 805 yards on only 134 rushes, 9 touchdowns. He is going to be the primary guy. And even more so, it's scary to think that his ceiling could be even higher, because they did not use him in the passing game at all. He only had 18 receptions for 120 yards and no touchdowns. So you put all of that, factoring it in, Ingram moving on, so it clears all of that up. But this is what we've also seen for a while. This is why J.K. Dobbins, we were so high on him as far as a dynasty draft last year, even over Edwards-Helaire and different guys like that. Taylor, who obviously is a very wonderful running back as well. I really think this guy is going to be a game changer. I hope he realizes all of his talent this year, but if nothing else, I think he ends up as a back end running back one that you're kind of like, I wish they would give him 50 more carries. Yep. I think that's his downside. It sounds crazy, but I really do.
Well, and again, Gus Edwards is going to play. Don't think we're not saying Gus Edwards is going to play. He's going to get his 130, 140 carries.
Not only will he play, but I'm sure there'll be one more guy that takes.
And the other guy would be Justice Hill,
carries.
Right?
Yeah,
he probably gets a couple carries, but he's not going to get at a level where it's going to, be a detriment to Dobbins.
Last year they had 3 running backs, and he did this.
Well, and honestly, on the initial depth chart that Ravens threw out there, they listed Dobbins and Edwards as their top running back.
And that's fine.
That's fine. Gus Edwards is going to play a lot. Yes, I know this. I'm not worried about that. This team's going to run the ball more than any team in the NFL, and it's going to be effective. And Dobbins is really good, and he looked really good last year. 6 yards per carry? He looked good. He's going to be good. All the run. Go snatch up Gus Edwards late too. I'm good with that.
If an injury occurs or something,
I'm good with that. If Gus Edwards had the opportunity, I think he'd actually be a really good running back.
Yeah, I think you can grab him late and you can use him in the bye weeks, and especially with a longer year too. It's not a bad thing to have these backfields that utilize more than one guy. So that's the NFL of today.
Yep. I just think Dobbins has the most upside of the players he's going around to. So I love getting Dobbins. So
yeah. How many people did we cross over on? We Dobbins together at number 1, Swift together at number 2,
and Etienne at
number 5.
Which is
actually it's kind of funny that we both put him at number 5.
It's we actually put those exactly the same spots.
So Dallas Goedert, T. Higgins, McLaurin, and
I'm gonna forget CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb, yeah.
So there we go.
I like all those guys.
All right, that's gonna do it for players we love. We'll be back next week with some more for you. Talk to you guys then.